Hey, it's Ross Payton with Role Playing Public Radio. We're playing Eclipse Phase, second edition.
Woo!
Uh, we have 4 players. It's at least one player at least is really excited for this. And the adventure is called Mediation on Iapetus. This is a game I ran on the RPPR Patreon for a couple patrons. I really liked how it turned out. And so once a month I run games for patrons, so you too can playtest adventures before they show up on the podcast for only $10 a month. Plus a lot of other cool stuff like bonus podcasts, our Discord, and more. But anyway, so we have 4 players who are a group of Firewall agents who are being sent to this moon of Saturn, Iapetus, because there's a problem there. And so before we get to the briefing where we explain what the fuck, what's going on there, why Firewall cares, let's meet our agents. So all of you know each other by reputation, so you can give a little background about yourself, but you will say none of you have worked with each other before. So we begin the game in a simul-space secure meeting room where you're going to be being briefed by a Firewall proxy. And so when I ask you, introduce your character and then also how they appear in the simul space, what your avatar is, basically. So it's basically the meeting space is a generic corporate boardroom. Stock assets. It is a generic space station in generic space, but with inertial gravity. At least that's what the simulation looks like. So, big boardroom with a big window showing the vastness of space.
Space.
Mm-hmm. So let's start with you, Tom. Please introduce your character.
Yes, I am playing Tobias. He is a member of the Hidden Concern who works for them as an enforcer and hitman.
Okay. And obviously you're also a Firewall agent. So then what does your avatar look like?
He looks like an octomorph, although it goes with wearing the octomorph equivalent of like a 1920s gangster suit.
Okay. Sure. Somehow that works. So then next up we have Aaron.
Hello. I am playing Ellis Menendez, a Scum Techie who was recruited into Firewall after discovering that's like relics from a long-dead alien race, and they decided that needed to be locked up for safety's sake. But I have been running missions from them while simultaneously running a nanotech recycler meshcast called Graxagirl from the Scum that I serve on. The stars our destination.
Okay. And what does your avatar look like?
The avatar looks like a vector graphic version of Ellis, just with flat panels and a lot of different pulsing lights around it.
It's like a cell-shaded Ellis.
Yeah, so basically, except a lot flatter. So it basically just more looks like a vector graphic skeleton that has been brought to life.
Okay. Next up we have Bill.
Woo!
Hey. I'll be playing Kai, the person who talks to people.
Oh, we have a talker.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and also, I like their brains more than that, but that's intimate. We'll get into that later. As far as the avatar, how about, Molly Millions from Neuromancer, but ironically.
Okay. Getting one of those rare Cyberpunk 2077 models that in one of the 1.0 version, so it's very bugged. Something like that. Topical. So finally we have Birk, who is
Yep. So I am playing Chi. They are a hacktivist who kind of got socially engineered into working for Firewall, kind of indirectly, and then just ended up joining them directly. Mm-hmm. They are in a dragonfly synthmorph, so it's like a little drone-type dragonfly,
mm-hmm.
PCB wings, that sort of aesthetic.
Mm-hmm.
Little Matrix Sentinel-y.
Is that what your avatar looks like in the simul space?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Yeah, pretty basic.
Yeah.
So the four of you load in. There is a generic corporate executive avatar greeting you. I am Proxy Smith. I will be handling your briefing for this mission. You are all heading to... this is part under the operational keyword Caribou Abyss. So that is a code secret, so do not share this without anyone else who has been cleared for Caribou Abyss. You have all been pulled because you're available and because you have the prerequisite skills that would be useful in resolving this problem. And yeah, you're available, and we need this resolved fairly quickly. The situation is stable right now, but we feel if we do not resolve it soon, it could destabilize. We could lose a lot of progress. You are all going to be forecasted to our operational base on Iapetus, one of the moons of Saturn. It is a forward operating base that is ostensibly the front is a anarchist, autonomous collective, Titan hunting collective called the Olympians. But of course, we are the ones truly controlling it. And we have used this base to hunt Titan, Exsurgents, and also, more importantly, prevent Titan technology from being smuggled out of the moon. We have broken up multiple smuggling operations on the moon, and it is quite important to our work. The research we do there helps Firewall throughout the entire system deal with other Titan threats. The problem has been that... so are all of you familiar with the situation on Iapetus?
Pretend that I'm not.
Very well.
You never studied.
After the fall, Iapetus became one of the few places in the solar system able to welcome... It was before then a very minor mining and scientific research outpost. But during the fall, they had the resources to expand rapidly to welcome in many refugees. And for a short time, it was one of the success stories from the fall as they welcomed hundreds of thousands of people there who came from ships or forecasted in, and it looked like it was going to be growing into a new city-state. Unfortunately, an Exsurgent outbreak there proved, in the chaotic atmosphere of the aftermath of the fall, overwhelmed the defenses they had, and the entire moon fell to the insurgent infection. Unlike other outbreaks throughout the solar system, this particular infection had a singular purpose. It not only assimilated every single person it could capture, transforming them into a unique a type of exsurgent unique to this planet, nicknamed the Fractal Troll. Their files there available if you want to further research. Among others, these Fractal Trolls were used to build. They began building what appeared to be a mega engineering project, converting the entire moon into a Matryoshka brain, which is essentially a very, very powerful computer. Essentially, think of it as theoretically Computronium. However, this project, for unknown reasons, simply stopped. But the moon had been partially transformed into an Exsurgent base, city, ruin, whatever you want to call it. It was honeycombed with tunnels and facilities throughout the entire moon. Since then, the Titanian Commonwealth has put an interdiction fleet in orbit around it, but it is insufficient to keep smugglers from, raiding the moon for Titan technology to smuggle back to hypercorp enclaves, ex-humans, the Ultimates. Anyone who has an interest in Titan technology has stolen has been part of it. There's a lot to loot there. Of course, obviously, Titan technology is very dangerous, and we would not like to see that happen. So, some of these fractal trolls have been supposedly rehabilitated into normal humans, cured of their insurgent infection. Many of them are non-hostile. Well, some of them are non-hostile, but they are not. We're not sure what happened there. It is a mystery, but there is that is sort of the background of Iapetus. So there are many groups there that try to eradicate or cure or research or all of the above the Titan threat there. Our base, again, codenamed Caribou Abyss, is our major operation there. So the problem is they have found a potential X threat. It is codenamed Obtuse Scorpion. Now, I do not have the details here. You will receive details on the ground. The problem has been that the camp, which pulls from a variety of Firewall agents, has sort of factionalized into two major factions. One is led by an agent by the name Lacaire, and the other is codenamed Habari. They both have a solution to deal with Obtuse Scorpion, but they both believe that the other is wrong. And things are getting tense. Things have not broken out into firefights or into even fistfights yet, but our simulations of the social stability of this base show that within a matter of weeks, maybe months, they will turn to violence. Things are too tense there. And if violence breaks out between our agents there, then we have the potential to lose all of our progress there. We could lose our base, compromise our security. So both groups have agreed to send a group of neutral agents, that is and mediate between them and try and find an optimal solution to the problem. So that's the situation. You are to bring peace to this camp, and ideally find a way to deal with Obtuse Scorpion. Although that is actually not my understanding is Obtuse Scorpion is dormant, and there's no indication it poses an immediate threat. It may be years, it may never activate into being a threat. The main problem, again, your primary objective is to stabilize the camps. But if you can find a solution to Obtuse Scorpion, you are free to implement it. Any questions?
Well, out of character,
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to get back into frame, and I googled up Matryoshka brain, and the Wikipedia article very quickly linked over to Anders Sandberg. And so now I'm backing away slowly.
Yeah, this is the background on Iapetus is actually pretty much canon. That I'm just pulling from Eclipse stuff. So yeah, it's all big Ouroboros of influences here. So yeah. Yeah, they think it's you don't have the details of it yet. Your proxy is not giving you details, but you can get them. But your mission is you'll be Farcast there. In your exact same morphs, we're not going to worry about making rolls to integrate or whatever. We're just going to, this is happening well before you actually get there. This is sort of like get your background information and do networking checks or research checks if you want to. You are in transit to Iapetus. So, but yes, I
would like to review the files.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the files on fractal trolls reveal that they are biomorphs, but with limbs that have fractal fingers. And lots of implants. They can actually survive in there. They're very gross, but they're considered tragic figures because some of them seem to retain their humanity, although that might be a trick. But they're not like organized zombies or whatever. They're like, so the webpage I linked to has some of the information about them.
Okay.
But yeah, they're definitely carrying a Exsurgent virus on them.
Neat.
Mm-hmm. They're just They're just all throughout Iapetus, and this is not. But they're not that's not an obtuse scorpion. So.
Right. I just somehow feel like it might become relevant at some point.
Fine.
Yeah. Fair. But do you have any other questions for Smith? Or do you want to do any research or networking or anything like that? Before we cut to you waking up in the sleeping facility at Caribou Abyss.
I'd be interested in doing some just sort of reputational research on the leaders of the respective factions.
Okay, pick a leader, and what is that research you're going to use? Or you're going to use the networking to call in a favor? I'd say it's a minor favor.
Am I going to use? Sorry, just somebody else can go while I'm figuring it out. By the way.
Okay. Would I be able to research anything about the? I know this is technically planet side through a moon, but would a habits ops role to kind of see what issues we might come into contact with, or would that be more of a interest titans?
You got to be a little more specific. I mean, there's been a lot found on Iapetus. It's a big labyrinth full of weird Titan tech and Exsurgent crazy bullshit. So,
okay. Something that would be an immediate threat either to us or maybe to either one of the sides of the conflict, is something that they might be arguing over.
Okay. Yeah, you can give me a roll. Okay. Well, which one are you asking? Those are two questions. So which one do you want to... Yeah. Immediate threats or what the two factions are dealing with?
I would want to ask about what the two factions are dealing with specifically. So
okay.
Would I roll the habit ops or the Titan interest on
Titan interests.
Titan interest, got it. Okay. Unfortunately, that fails.
Okay. So yeah, you don't have enough information at this point to can make a conjecture. Okay. So yeah, it's well, you'll be able to make more checks when you get briefed on it there. But like you do know with a fail check that they are. You realize Smith doesn't know any details about obtuse scorpion other than it exists. And neither side can agree on how to deal with it because they're keeping all the detailed data about it on Caribou Abyss to prevent it from leaking, because the data that they have could be used to reverse engineer shit, probably. So,
and that never leads to bad things.
It actually does frequently lead to bad things. So,
don't be ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
I have never heard of it. Never happened.
All right. So, let's see here. Chi, Birk, did you want to make any checks?
Yeah, I was just looking over everything that I have. Sorry.
Yeah, no worries. I mean, this is kind of this is very much an info dump, but it's a complicated situation. And you can if you don't want to if you can't think of anything right now, you can always you'll still have mesh interface at the Caribou. But although it will be a lot more restricted, I will say as you go through the files, you also get some of their security procedures. And your options are either to use an Ecto, which is a little laptop device that is, or if you want to use your own wireless your mesh implants, you have to have you have to agree to have an implant to monitor you. And basically, if it detects any Exsurgent infection, it blows you up. And warns the others. So, Yeah, it's very much a military base because they're surrounded by the inn. They've carved out a little beachhead in a labyrinth full of, really dangerous shit. So right now you're in standard like mesh, security. So
That's fair.
yeah.
A lot of my knowledge stuff right now is based around what's going on in bars, which doesn't really help.
You can, if you want to, flip a couple of those skills to something more appropriate, like Titan technology or Firewall, or there's a list in the Eclipse phase main book.
So I have no Mars rumors. Can I swap that out for no
Yeah.
Iapetus rumors? All right, I'll roll that.
Okay.
See what's rumoring about.
There we go.
No.
All right. Well,
One of those nights.
yeah. Caribou Abyss is pretty obscure. It's a pretty... I will say for free, you have heard that you do know that people... Firewall specifically prevents... People can only stay in there a certain amount of time, then Firewall makes them leave. But there's some people who want to stay as long as possible because they're really, really into fighting the good fight against the Titans.
Okay.
So, but it's considered the front line of the war against Titan by a lot of hardcore Firewall operatives because you're literally in a place surrounded with fucking, Exsurgents and shit. So,
Always a lovely thing.
Anybody else? Let's see here. Key, Bill, did you figure out what you wanted to roll?
Yeah, how about some knowledge psychology? Just
Sure.
What is the overall? Yeah, what do I need to be having in mind as a negotiator, as a mediator? Wow, and that's a fail.
Yeah, we're just rolling great this time.
Yep, Dicebot is hungry.
Once the combat starts, we'll be fine.
Yeah. Yeah. So the one thing you figure out, I will give you something for free. Normally,
Can I use criminal rep to look into this?
Yeah, just let me finish with Bill. The one thing you figure out is, this sounds like it's a technical problem, how to defuse the bomb, more or less. So, the stakes must be really high, or why would they...
People wouldn't be factionalizing.
Yeah. So, they must be really convinced that the other side will fucking set the bomb off if they're wrong. So, that's probably... You're guessing that's the core of the disagreement. You're going to get us all killed. And then it stretches from there. But you don't have... But that's all you can figure out. There's a lot of data to go through. Anyways, Tobias, what do you want to try and figure out?
I was looking, maybe just kind of looking into the factions themselves.
Okay. Sure. Yeah, you can give me a roll on a networking criminal, I guess.
Yes, I succeed.
Okay. Wait, what are you rolling? I'm looking at your painting security ops. Well, you get on security ops at least.
Yeah.
Because I don't see your networking stuff.
Oh, I forgot to put it on there. It's mainly criminal.
Okay. No worries. So what you figure out, you do know Habari actually used to be a criminal. You actually... Habari used to be a Scum, was a former gangster on Luna. Then she joined a Scum swarm, and then where she became an enforcer. So, very dangerous person.
My kind of person.
Yeah. And LeCaire, is a former Titanian government operative, but you don't know as much about him as that, other than, he used to work as probably in espionage or intelligence, or obviously in intelligence. So you don't know much about him aside from that.
Okay.
Okay. Any other checks? Is that everybody? I think. All right. So, cut to a montage of all of you farcasting. loading, waking up in Caribou Abyss, sleeving facility, where you're put through in a time accelerated simul space, where you're given basic security procedures. It is basically considered an active war zone at all times. You can either have an ecto, which will be but other than that, your mesh implants have to be shut off, or you can have your mesh implants on, but you have to have a monitor implant that will monitor you for exsurgent infections and not just blow you up. It depends on what it detects, but it may just shut down your nervous system, paralyzing you. May send out a silent alarm, or it may blow you up depending on what it detects. So for each of you, and then of course there's some other procedures, but we don't have to go through all those. But it's the base itself is considered safe, but you should be prepared for the shit to hit the fan at any given time. Let's see here. Key, which I will use for Bill. What do you want?
Yeah, it's Kai.
Kai, sorry.
No, it's fine. Well, as the lie teller, I probably need to, go along to get along, at least so far. So I will take the dead man switch.
Okay. So let's see here. Birk, Chi, then?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's correct. Chi and Kai. You'll get it. I will take the monitoring.
Okay.
I'll just hack my way around it.
Let's see here. Ellis?
Despite the fact that I'm a little bit nervous about that, I will go ahead and take the dead man switch as well. So,
okay. Tobias?
Dead man switch.
All right. All of you have a dead man switch, and you all wake up, and you're all wake up basically at the same time. In your implant, in the morphs that you wanted, they have a very extensive sleeving facility, for bio and synth morphs and pod morphs. That's actually a pretty large facility that they have here. They've Firewall's definitely sunk a lot of resources into this place. So aesthetically, think of like a massive cavern with sort of prefab shelters built in for clean rooms and sort of like shipping container shaped modules for various important facilities like the sleeving facility. But other than that, everything's sort of open air. There are partitions that can pop in through the walls if they need to, but they mostly don't have them. But the only sort of decorations or sort of personalization is this is Caribou. The other part of there's another. This base is actually only codenamed Caribou, and so they have fabricated a lot of hunting decor. There are deer heads, moose heads, other animals just mounted on there, antlers and real shotguns that are just mounted on walls and ceilings and whatnot. It is, anytime somebody has some time off and some spare resource to shove into a fabber, they fab up something goofy hunting framed. Apparently, nothing too gauche, nothing like Titan, Exsurgent heads or anything. They're just like, if you kill a fractal troll, you get to put an antler up, that kind of thing. So, so think of Bass Pro meets an underground high-tech military base.
So Bass Pro meets Wheeler Utani.
Yeah, just blow it up, let it go.
So the person you're meeting, his name is Heron. He is going to be your guide. He says, "Hey, welcome to Caribou. I'm your minder, I guess, since you're the mediation team. I'm glad Firewall sending some people to sort this shit out. I've been told I can show you to Lacaire or Habari. They both want to talk to you. But I can also show you around the base. You have your standard equipment as you specified. But, things are sort of at a lull right now. This is only half of the base. Abyss is the facility we set up to sort of monitor and guard the obtuse scorpion. Unfortunately, there's been a bit of a blockade. The fractal trolls cut off the main tunnel that we used to get there, and we're sort of planning our response to that. But we have people there at Abyss, and they have their own resources, and they haven't been attacked at all. And we have a dynamic entry plan if the Exsurgents make an attack on the place, so we can force our way through if we need to quickly. But we don't want to blast our way through, because that could those seismic that much explosion will cause seismic activity that will be picked up by the other bases in the region. And if there's a lot of scavengers who would like to see us dead, and they may detect this as they may perceive that as a bit of weakness, so we'd rather do this quietly and carefully. So but yeah. Yeah, any questions? Or do you just want me to take you one of the leaders, I guess? Lacair's the former head of the base, but Habari's head of security, so they're kind of basically the same in terms of authority. What do you guys want to do?
Let's get the full situation.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so Kai, who do you want to talk to first?
Oh, shit. Let's see.
You can do another check now that you're on planet, tapping into their local mesh to get more information about them.
Yes, please.
Okay.
See, 50 is under 80. That's what I was looking for.
Yep, it really is. Okay, so the basic profile of each leader is there are actually numerous factions within Firewall. Hey, it's a big organization. Politics happens. Lacair is what you would be called a structuralist. The structuralists believe that Firewall should, try to improve its structure. Many of them actually want to take Firewall public and make it a known agency that interfaces with other polities. They want to go legit, as they say. And Lacair is certainly a big advocate of that. He is also a former Titanian intelligence agency operative, and the links between Firewall... There's apparently a schism between Firewall and the Titanian Commonwealth a couple of years ago, and that's... but they're both still friendly with each other. Anyways, it's very complicated. Only the insiders know the full story. But people who are not Titanians... some people think that Firewall is too friendly with the Titanians, and some people think that Lacair is a double agent working for the Titanian Commonwealth. So, he is. So that's Lacair in a nutshell. Habari, as I mentioned, is a former gangster and Scum swarm enforcer. Very effective in combat, very practical leader, very good at security. And she is a conservative. In Firewall parlance, that means kill them all, burn it all. She is very suspicious of any. Just keep Firewall secret. Just focus on it can't hurt us if it's all dead. So if it's all been disintegrated or thrown into the sun or nuked. So a lot of people could think of her as being simple-minded. She can't see the big picture. She's that is sort of the perception. So conservatives, the more probably stereotypical Firewall response. And so that is sort of their political differences. And obviously there are other factions in there, but those are the two that are actually most common, and all the other people with different beliefs have sort of gravitated to one camp or the other in this situation. So that's sort of the basics of the situation. Is there anything else you want to know specifically about that topic, or is that pretty clear?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, that's a good overview. From what is written, like the proximal thing I want to know right now is, of the two, which seems to have the bigger ego?
Okay. Give me kinesics check.
Psychology.
Oh no, psychology. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I mean, you want me to roll it again?
Yeah. Oh, shit, crit.
All right, yeah, so crit.
Nice.
Definitely Lacaire. He is a company man, even if he has a new company. And certainly he's the most senior ranking agent right now in the entire thing. Habari is more, think of more battlefield promotions. She was the last one standing after a lot of operations, so she sort of rose through the ranks because, you know, they couldn't, she just kept going. But Lacaire has ambitions. And to being like setting up his own server, you're guessing, run operations somewhere. This is only a stepping stone for him.
All right. Now we know who to visit first.
Okay. Is that Lacaire?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
We'll keep the guy who would be hurt by it, not hurt by it.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good point. So, let's see. The rest of you, you can check out the rest of the camp or try and get other information or talk to the other people if you want to. Or you just want to do the Lacaire thing real quick.
Just knock it out real quick, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So you meet with Lacaire. He welcomes. If all of you follow, he welcomes you all into a prefab module in the corner of the base, where he has had a wooden desk fabbed with an actual little desktop ecto as his worktop computer. There is a server in the corner. Yes. Oh, thank you. There's nothing. It helps keep me calm. I can close the door and set up some AR visuals, and it's like I'm back on Titan.
Like some good old space lumber.
Yes, exactly. Yes, space. Nothing beats space lumber. It's very calming.
You're seeing a space lumber commercial. It comes up on the mesh now.
Oh, oh no, I had those ad blocked. Yes, I paid. Yes. Anyways, so I'm very glad to hear that the Firewall sent 4 trusted agents with a varied backgrounds. As I have read your personnel records, and so you can appreciate the situation here. This is still I would like to we are both arguing in good faith. I don't know what you've been told, but we are still both trying to do what is right. It's just Habari is too focused on the immediate what's in front of her, and I'm trying to look at the big picture. And I can walk you through our solution for Obtuse Scorpion, but unless you're there's only a handful of experts in Titan weapons disarmament that are alive that are working for Firewall. Most of them are here. The problem is and so yeah, I think that's probably the best if I just explain the solution.
Very much appreciate that.
All right. So he starts explaining the solution. It is extremely complicated. He shows you a symbol space or a AR hologram of the of Obtuse Scorpion or simulation of it, and it's basically this object that's like 3 meters by 7 meters by 5 meters. It's a big old thing, and it's just sitting in a cavern in the base at the core of the. They basically built a base around it to guard it, and that base is called Abyss. It's only about 10 kilometers from your location. Of course, the problem is, the tunnel's been there, but as he starts talking about it, he gets very technical very quickly. So anybody with a hardware or knowledge Titans can make a skill roll.
Yep. Let's see, what's my hardware at? Does it have to be a specific hardware one, or just
which one are you using? You're not going to get the full information. Basically, the only way to fully understand this, and the first thing is to have a custom skill called up to Scorpion disarmament. Like they had to. I will say for free, all of you recognize you've all been Firewall agents long enough to understand the idea of an outside context problem, and this is kind of like disarming what you think is a bomb, but you're not sure because it's technology that you've never encountered before, you've never seen it work, you don't know what it does. So there's a lot of hypothetical. Yeah.
It's a specialty bomb, and we don't know what it blows up.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So, all right. Yeah, I could use hardware with electronics if they have any kind of information specifically for that, or I could just use my interest titans on that instead.
Probably interest titans would be better.
Okay, can do.
Yeah, if anybody else is a hardware skill of some type, you can get some information from it, but you don't have to.
I do make that 48 out of 50.
Okay. Sorry.
A roll electronics.
Yeah, you can do that.
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, it is staggeringly complex, and even understanding bits and part of it. There's multiple steps, and it involves exposing it to certain forms of radiation, to using specialized nano swarms, to the one thing you can figure out is they're very concerned with alerting it. They believe based on their data that it's quote unquote sleeping, and if they do the wrong thing, it'll wake up, and they don't know what it's supposed to do, but they do know, they're pretty confident that, and this is between the two of you working together, that if they do the wrong things, there is a sort of self-defense system in something this complex built by the Titans, a sort of, protect itself kind of thing. So if they trigger that, then it'll probably do something that will wipe out everyone in the base, because it's but other than that, you can't really. So that's their concern. If you do the wrong thing, you wake it up, it dies, or it kills everyone. But if you do the right thing, it doesn't wake up, and you can destroy it, because it's not like it's a machine that is programmed to do something, and but it's dormant right now. No one's woken.
We don't know what. So.
Yeah. So that's the. Is there anything you wanna figure out in particular? But it's a process that takes about 2 days and involves a lot of resources, and is very complicated and involves a lot of custom machinery and nanotechnology built just to deal with this thing.
Okay. Actually, can I do a roll specifically for nanotechnology to see how they're approaching it with that, or what the success rate is of what they feel like their success rate is out of projections?
Okay. Yeah, you can give me a nanotechnology roll.
Okay.
Anything you want to figure out based on what you... is there any question you want me to answer based on your role? No, I was asking Birk.
Oh, sorry.
Because Birk also made a roll.
Let me think for a second while.
Okay. So Ellis, the data is there's too much. You can't sort through it. Like, that's your problem. It's you're smart and you're educated, but this is like a highly specialized problem.
Yes.
And by people at the cutting edge of their field, they're basically making up a new subset of a new field, essentially. How the fuck to disarm this thing? And so there's a lot of hypotheticals and there's a lot of assumptions. So this takes a little bit. This takes a little while for you to sort of get through all this data. At the end of it, Lacare's like, well, I'm glad I know, of course, you'll have to visit Habari, but you'll see that my data is quite accurate. And you'll see that it is a very... it's the only logical conclusion. So, to use my approach, plan A. So, her plan B, is, well, it's just the wrong approach. And, I hope you can, but of course I trust your findings. Do you have any questions for me?
I know I don't at this time.
All right.
Yeah, I think we've gotten everything we need, but we'll be in contact over the mesh in case we need anything else.
Yeah, well, I'm here. You can just come walk over. It seems large at first, but this space is very small when you spend some time here. Yes, anyways, carry on. All right, so you head out. You head over to Habari's position. She is in an open area, basically It's sort of they've set up a metal floor, and there's numerous crates on it, and she is field stripping and checking weapons, and sort of doling out security assignments as she works, multitasking. But yeah, you're just sort of an open air armory. There's other people around her modifying weapons, modifying morphs, synth morphs, or getting weapon mounts and that kind of thing. It's very cool looking, but Habari herself is in a synth morph. Oh yeah, by the way, Lacaire was in a biomorph, in a very sleek looking, official looking dude. But Habari's in a synth morph, and she has modified it to look slightly like a samurai. But she's got several weapons strapped to her, and she sort of grunts. Great. If you wanna, I have a server here. We could just do simple space time accelerators. We can get this done quickly. If you just want to plug in there.
That suits me.
All right. So she's kind of just dives into it. So Lacaire's full of shit. All right. His plan isn't. The problem with him is he goes by the company line and think that's always going to work. You always do what the handbook says, and so. I, on the other hand, this is a new problem. You got to deal with it a different way, and so she starts talking about hers, and you don't have to make another skill check, but very technical, very different in some ways, but very similar in other ways. Takes several days, lots of nanotechnology, lots of radiation, and exposure to various, actually very strong acids in this case, like saturating the entire machine with very strong, molecular acids, but it's the same problem. How to destroy this thing without waking it up. But you can give me another Titan interest check, or electronics check, to try and figure out what the differences between these plans are, or like why they're having this disagreement.
Okay, I'll go and do an electronics check this time.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, because you rolled.
Oh, sorry. Oh no. Yeah. Sorry. I just.
You rolled a D00.
No. But I did make that 15.
Okay. So what you figured out now, Ellis, is the problem is what data set are you using to draw your conclusion? They're basically Lacaire's plan A is drawing data taken from observations from all kinds of Titan technology. It's sort of like. Yeah, is sort of...
This is my spreadsheet can beat up your spreadsheet.
Well,
I already do this all week. Why did I sign up for this?
I like the cut of your jib, Ross.
So yeah, the problem is that Lacaire is using the standard Firewall data, database of Titan technology of like Titans in this case did this when we exposed them to this stimuli, so. We can therefore blah 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 blah. Now, Habari's uses a much smaller data set because they only use the data set taken from Iapetus and particularly Obtuse Scorpion. And so the question is, do you trust all of the data? Is this like all of? Do you assume that this is operating like all the other Titan stuff, or do you think this is unique, doesn't operate like anything else, and is therefore only use that data set? So Habari, has a lot more gaps in her data set because there's not as much data. So, but Lacaire is using data taken from Mars, from Luna. Yeah, so that's the fundamental technical difference between the two plans. Like in the sort of basically the initial stages of their data set in solving this problem. That's where they branched out, and then it just got further and further apart from each other as they worked. So they're mutually exclusive. There's no way to synthesize the plan. The one thing you also figure out is there's very little data. There's, in fact, no data on what happens when you send people to interact with this thing.
Okay. Well,
I think we need more information.
Yep. More data would solve that. Would help them refine their plans.
Well, yeah, because I'm sure they wanted to reduce that's like a contact because of the procreation of other further exsurgents, though.
But it's
or that data's been memory hold.
Well, you could talk to Heron or one of the people about it, or point that out. Like, why haven't they done in person?
Yeah, I'll at least ask that question. So
wait, let's hold that thought. Let's hold that in reserve until we actually need it.
Mm-hmm.
First thing I would think, gentlemen, or gentle beings, whatever. Fundamentally, okay, so we're short data on one side. There's a population on the other, but we really need to find out, like, Birk, help me out. My stats are probably not as strong as yours are these days, but, like, I kind of want to understand the R-squared value of the entire Titan data set. Like, how correlational is it actually? Like, who cares if you've got a lot of it if Mars Titans actually act different from Titans act different from, Scum, or not Scum Swarm, but like asteroid belt Titans, et cetera, et cetera.
Mm-hmm.
Like, is there, is this a fundamental, like, assuming correlation where one does not exist? Because once you subdivide.
Okay.
Are there more than 2 data sets, it sounds like?
Yeah, well, you can give me, actually, you don't even have to roll for that since that's a very good question. Looking at Lecair's data set, he did limit the data to artifacts that were in some way similar to this, at least as far as they can tell, that it was like a computational engine of some kind. So like, yeah. And so he's trying to limit it to things that they think are like this, but the data set itself, sometimes there's a lot of incomplete information. Like, yeah, this data set is from Project Redacted, and where Redacted and Redacted happen. But trust us, it's definitely like the thing you're dealing with. So, yeah, if Lecair just trusts Firewall that all those Redacteds are there for good reason.
So, to me, that leads to an immediate question. Is there an obfuscated version of essentially all Titan data sets, right? Like, if we can get reactivity regardless of what the source is, data points are data points, as long as, like, I want to go with a hypothesis of location matters. So if it is redacted, but we can still get, overall, location level data.
Okay. That would
require in those blank cells.
Yeah. Okay. What do you want to use to try and resolve that? Are you going to ask people to help you with that, or are you going to the team?
Yeah, that's an idea. Somebody who's good at that, do it.
Computer science? I don't know.
Yeah, that would work.
Okay.
Ross, I gotta say, between like me and Birk, you've got a really interesting group for this one.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of wonder what. I know if Caleb was here, he'd be like, "Okay, we just have to get them to work together." Okay, let's figure. All right, now first blackmail, then I don't care what the problem is. Like.
Meanwhile, it's going to be like, "Oh, everyone stopped listening after they started talking about like correlation matrices." It's boring.
I don't know what you're talking about, except the truth.
So I made my computer science check. Yeah, barely.
Okay. All right, so you refine you're just looking at Lecair's data, right? Yeah. So you refine the data a bit, and you think he's actually done a pretty well. You're able to remove some of the redacted and like sort of locate where some of these are, and so you can. There are basically there are, let's see, 1, 2, 3. 4 major data sets within the subset, like the Titan quarantine zone on Mars, the Titan quarantine zone on Luna, the Earth orbit. Basically, there's a lot of Exsurgent shit in Earth orbit, wrecked spaceships and that kind of thing, and then Iapetus. So those are the 4 places that he's getting data from. And they're all from artifacts that are, at least in some way, as far as you can tell, similar to this one. in terms of how they behave and what their hazards are and their characteristics and that kind of thing. So now if you remove one of those data sets, you have to basically start over. There's a lot of re-engineering you have to do. You can't just remove the Mars data and just get a modified version of Plan A. It would be Plan C or something like that. So in terms of their efficacy, the problem is most of the time these it seems that there was nothing this big or there's nothing that they couldn't solve with a tac nuke or a bunch of plasma grenades. It seems like, or nano disassembler swarms. Like they haven't. This thing does seem to be unique, that it is denser, made of materials that aren't. They don't know what it's made out of exactly. So they're afraid to use conventional weapons against it. So does that answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay.
What my question was more, so now that we've got it narrowed down to these four, like, obviously there's not going to be a whole lot more data out there. Like, I'm interested in what's excluded, not from a redaction perspective, but what's, like, he's focused in on computational devices. Mm-hmm. If we expanded to as big a data set as we could get our hands on mm-hmm. for Mars, for Earth orbit, for Luna, mm-hmm. and obviously there's not going to be a whole lot more for Iapetus, mm-hmm. but like, are the correlations he is assuming, like when you re-expand the entire like geographic data set, essentially is there speciation between those four that's obfuscated because he took a subset?
So you're talking about like different threats, like biological ones, or for example.
Yes.
Okay.
So essentially, I'm cross-tabbing.
Okay.
Right. He's tabbed by geography, but he's got geography on rows, but he's narrowed down to one column.
Yeah.
Which is computational devices.
Mm-hmm.
If you bring back in other columns, essentially, does that invalidate his conclusion?
Oh, definitely. Like, it's very specific to computational devices. They're very confident that it's a computational device of some kind. You would need an expert. Actually, Ellis, you can give me a Titan interest check to understand why they think it's a Titan or a computational device.
Okay. Unfortunately, that does not make, so I do not know.
So yeah, you cannot, you don't know why he removed everything other than computational devices, but he did. And they seem very confident about that. And when you look at Habari, they kind of actually did this. They assumed it's a computational device. Well, they assumed it's a unique device. Like, that's the whole thing. They're only using stuff they get from Obtuse Scorpion. So they're kind of like going from the ground up, reinventing things, which is why it's just fill in the blank. Well, we just have to make up a number here to finish our equation. So, as opposed to pulling out from, oh, well, this thing they found on the moon once worked like this, so we'll use that as the number for this part of the equation. Does that make sense? But yeah, you don't know why they do that. Why they're only looking at computational devices. You can ask them, or they have scientists there who are working on this. Or you can go and get more data.
I would love to ask that.
Yeah. So you are going to ask that?
Yeah, but somebody else can have a scene first.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, Tobias, what are you going to be doing? You can talk to them if you want about like figuring out how to deal with the roadblock, since you're interested in like getting more data.
Can I actually? Is there a way I could actually look at their various roadblocks myself?
Yeah. Yeah. You have security ops, right?
I do indeed, and if I need to go quietly, I'm definitely a sneaker.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Go ahead and give me a roll in security ops to read their maps. And you're talking to Heron, who can help you. We're just assuming you're looking through all this stuff.
Yes.
Okay. So basically, the Fractal Trolls cave. It's about 10 kilometers away. So they set up actually sort of a minecart rail system to like transport people and goods from one base to the other pretty quickly. So it's a big wide tunnel that they used, and the fractal trolls just caved it in. So there are numerous side tunnels, but the fractal trolls are pretty good at digging through shit, with their fractal limbs and shit. And they there are side tunnels, but they're kind of hard to map out because they've sent in nano swarms to sort of map it out, but they get a lot of interference there. So so basically, if you go through the side tunnels, it's going to be a maze, and the maps that you have when you head in aren't going to be reliable per se. There could be traps. They could have redirected in the last couple hours. They're only they're 12 to 20 hours out of date at any given time, which is enough to make some changes.
Which is an eternity in this time period.
Mm-hmm. They're digging through a hard rock and very cold ice, so they can't change it 100%, but they can make they could block off a wall, they could block off a passage or something like that. The main question is, you don't want to just blast through the main tunnel. They don't want to blast through the main tunnel, but they could dig through it and build a new tunnel through it. That just takes time, and that'll probably get the fractal trolls coming. So basically, do you set up an outpost there while they dig through it and hold off the fractal trolls, or do you try and sneak your way through the side tunnels? There is the other thing is you could try and go through the rocks if you had you could, because you're a fucking octomorph, and you can dig through. You can make a tiny little tunnel, but your friends would be harder pressed to get through since they're a little larger.
God, those you people with your freaking internal skeletons.
The other solution is psyops. The fractal tunnels in this area seemed, based on their reports, seem to be agitated about something. Not angry, but worried and confused. Perhaps they can be scared off if you could figure out what's worrying them. So that would involve interacting with the fractal troll and trying basically talk to it and see why is it doing this.
I'm not really a talker. I'm definitely a liar, but
well, that could be enough. So hypothetically, it might be possible to scare them off. But if you want to, you can spend this time to sort of set up a plan. What approach do you think do you want to try?
Well, I mean, obviously, I'm way more built for the sneaky way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Or going through a tiny tunnel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Those are the two I'm going to be.
So one thing, you could do a solo mission where you go through the side tunnel and set up stronger beacons that are constantly up to date, so people would have instant access to it. So you just have to make some sneak checks to set up those concealed beacons.
That's totally something I can do while they're doing their thing.
Okay, so you tell Heron, and Heron says, "All right, get your suit on, let's go." Ellis, do you want to go with him, or you want to stay at the base still figuring the shit out?
I can figure that out, although another thing that I was thinking that possibly could supplement that information is, because when you say the beacons are doing that, could there possibly be modified swarms that can go through there, providing...
that's the problem with the swarms. The swarms are... there's a lot of interference in the area, and the swarms their signal's too weak to get through the interference. That's why you need fixed beacons that are strong enough to send out a
signal boost.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'll say hear it right now, and kind of run numbers if necessary. So.
Okay. All right. So back to Kai and Chi. What are the two of you thinking now? So overall, the problem is they're very complex. It's a very complex problem, and it's very hard to disarm this device. And obviously, the problem these two groups have been is that they each have a different approach to solving these kind of problems, and neither of them wants to admit the other could be right. These are very dedicated, very hardcore firewall agents who are all personally motivated to fight Titans. That's something you've picked up by just being in the base for 6 or 7 hours, just reading the messages on their public Discord. Yeah.
all learned that the answer is always in the middle, Ross. So I'm just going to average both their data and put that in. Game over.
Well, then you have to convince. The problem is how do you can either just try and implement that on your own, and just
I actually think that's a...
Yeah, no, that would be probably a terrible idea. Yeah.
Or the best idea ever.
Who knows?
No, it's objectively
But
bad.
I will say that the two of you realize either you trying to solve this technical problem is going to be very hard because they've been working a long time and they're experts at it. So you can either get more data to make the problem more easily solvable, or you social engineer one side to give into the other. That seems to be the easier way. Those seem to be the two ways to succeed. Now you can get more if you want to get more data. Figuring out more about the obtuse scorpion will be really fucking good when you're fucking dealing with it.
Hey, that's out of scope.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
You just have to make the decision.
You have to get them to agree on a decision. Yeah.
No, we're like Big Four here. We don't come in to solve the problem. We just come in to tell them what they need to do to solve the problem.
All right. So, what are you all thinking? Do you want to try and social engineer one group to give into the other, or do you want to, or convince everybody to agree with one group, or you want to get more data on this thing?
Personally, I fucking want more data because they both have gaps in the data set, and this is too big to be going on assumption.
Yeah. Yeah, you do read some of the worst case scenarios about what happens if they wake it up, and you actually come into an interesting security protocol for the Abyss. The reason why they haven't done any firsthand experiments with it is because they're afraid that it would absorb the mind of whoever it interacted with and know all about the Titan base. So, coincidentally enough, you've been given memory locks when you had those implants installed. So that basically means they can remove your memories of being in this base if they push a button, which you realize, oh, maybe I wasn't supposed to read that. Oops. Or maybe the GM forgot to mention that earlier. But anyway,
A little bit of column A, a little bit of column B.
Yeah.
This is a wonderfully dramatic time to find out, though.
Yeah, it is. And so you can get those. So that's why they've been concerned. But the worst case scenario is if it wakes up, it not only absorbs the mind of the people, basically could. I mean, given how complex the object is and how resistant it is to, surface scanning, that they feel like it could run an alpha fork of a Titan on it, or it could be already embedded in that. So you could just have a fall 3.0, if that's the worst case scenario. So more likely it's just the entire base gets wiped out, and Iapetus maybe go even worse than it already is. But it's a bit concerning. So
on the other hand, it could make us some lovely cookies.
Mm-hmm. It could. Yeah, maybe that's what it all it wants to do. Meanwhile, Tobias.
Yeah. Doing the thing.
So you're in the tunnels. By the way, this uses athletics. I did look up the gravity. Gravity of Iapetus, I believe, is about 2% of Earth gravity. And we actually had this discussion when I ran this on the Patreon, which is, does doing stuff use athletics or free fall? And I would assume microgravity is like 1/1,000,000th of Earth gravity, not 2% of Earth gravity. So I would assume it uses athletics and not free fall for that reason. So
that's good. I like that.
But Birk is here. So what do you think?
I mean, it doesn't really matter, but I mean, the moon is like 13%, and you're really bouncing around.
Mm-hmm.
I think you could just allow the player to decide. I don't know. I think it should just be if you want to use either.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So just putting that out there. 2% Earth gravity, so there is some gravity, but not much.
All right. Well, I'll go athletics because that's what I'm good at.
Yeah. If you just want to assume both your skills are 1 for the purposes of this adventure, that's fine, I guess. Yeah, it's
I guess it also like depends on your morph and stuff too, how you move around.
yeah.
Or,
Yeah, like, octomorphs are really good for moving.
Oh yeah, for the dragonfly that'd actually be free fall, wouldn't it? Because you're flying around, or is there a separate flight skill?
I hope not, because they didn't give me that.
Yeah.
They gave me athletics.
Okay, yeah, then athletics. Yeah, I kind of that's come up in so many times in the Eclipse phase.
You could make the argument that it's athletics. Sometimes you can make it more difficult if it matters. But I guess you could say in like sheer micro,
Yeah,
like actual free fall.
yeah. Because there's that, like, I Googled this ahead of time when I was running the Patreon game and like couldn't find it satisfactory. Like, what is microgravity? So anyway, Tobias, it's a rocky tunnel. Well, rocky mixed with ice. But Iapetus used to be a mining facility. Before it was taken over, and there are remnants of that infrastructure left over. And you, Heron, and a bunch of drones are heading out, and basically Heron says, "I'll take you to the insertion point and wait for you to come back. There are 4 beacons to set up. You need to put them sort of far from each other. So we have here's the most recent map, and you sort of need to." You'll have to sort of make some judgment calls on your own. But yeah, if you're by yourself, that's best. And obviously, I'll cover you but get back here if you can. If you get physically touched by one of the fractal trolls, we'll have to check you for the xenomorph virus, which is you'll turn into one of them. If you,
well, we don't want that.
Yeah, if you get infected. Now, it's possible to fight off the infection. We've dealt with this quite a bit, but it's not pleasant. So, yeah, good luck.
Oh, thank you. No pressure.
Yeah. The tunnels are pitch black. By the way, I mean, the main tunnel is not. They have lights set up and stuff like that. But when you go into the fractal troll tunnels, they're pitch black. So what kind of sensors do you have there?
It's standard stuff for an octomorph. Let me get my book.
I don't think they can see in the dark.
I don't think they can either.
Okay. Well, you have armor on. I will say they will give you an armored spacesuit with what do you call it? Enhanced sight. So yeah, you'd have enhanced sight through your suit. So yeah, go ahead and give me a perception check to see if there's any baddies near you. And then give me a
okay
infiltration check.
I make perceive.
Mm-hmm. Okay. There's no threats around you.
All right, and the next is the athletics.
Mm-hmm. No, infiltration.
Even better.
Yeah. You are infiltrating in this because you do not want to be detected by the fractal trolls.
I succeed.
All right. Very good. So you get in. You find the first one is pretty easy to plant. You need to just place it near the entrance. So it starts mapping out and leaving a strong signal for the nanobots to relay that. So you start heading in. At first, it's just a single tunnel leading further and further in, winding around. It goes up and down at weird angles. It's very diagonal curves at places. Very odd. But then it opens up into a 3-way intersection. Now, are you just going to try and... so you're trying to find a way to the other side of the tunnel. So give me one more perception check to figure out your way.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, very good. So you don't have to make another infiltration check at this point, but you do hear... you know which tunnel to take to get you closer to your objective, but... off in the distance, you see some light. Now you can't hear anything. This isn't vacuum, but you do see some light. Looks like an artificial light of some kind. Do you follow that, or do you keep going towards your goal?
For now, I'm going to focus on the goal.
Okay. So you keep going on, and then you come to a section of the wall that is odd because they're all this is like natural and like sort of gouged out, like they've just been digging it out with the tools embedded in their hands. But there's a part of the wall off to the side that is perfectly straight. But you can see that there's some, you realize that there's a door you could just push in. They actually built a door in the stone, like perfectly out of the hinges and everything. That's is
not weird.
Perfectly balanced. So you could just push it in and see what's inside. But you could plant your second beacon. So do you push in the door or do you keep going?
I keep going.
Okay. Give me another infiltration check.
I'm not reading the book in the Lovecraft universe.
You don't want to see what's beyond the door?
I really don't. Yes, I make that.
Okay. A fractal troll comes lumbering underneath you. You're hanging on the ceiling, and it's sort of trundling all along the way. It stops beneath you, looking around a bit, but you're I assume you have camo cloaking.
Well, yeah, actually, I have chameleon skin.
Chameleon skin, that's right. And your suit does too. So
and also, I'm super good at hiding.
Mm-hmm. So it's sort of waiting there, looking for you or looking around, but it doesn't seem to notice you. And then it stops. And actually kind of makes a gesture towards the direction of Obtuse Scorpion. Like a weird, almost like a bow. And then it shuffles away pretty quickly.
Okay. Can I say like I have like a camera on my suit?
Oh yeah. I mean, it just records anything you see anyway.
So yeah, I'm making sure I document everything I come across, even though I don't check it out.
Okay.
Like pretty much. Oh hey, there's a door here. I wasn't dumb enough to open it.
Okay.
There it is.
So the you continue on. You plant the next one pretty easily. So you only have one more left. You're almost to the other side. But there is another offshoot tunnel. And you look down, you actually see a bright light from it. And you actually see several trolls down there. It seems to be some sort of chamber or like rest area for them or something. You can't really tell. But this is off to the side, and you're just sort of passing over it. But you notice... you pick up your mesh sort of picks up a signal there, and you realize that they're talking to each other through the mesh. But do you can either give me an infiltration check to sneak by them, or you can
sneaking by.
Okay, you can try and hack them if you wanted to.
No.
You don't want to listen to them?
I really don't.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, your mission is a success. You can find strung a thread through the labyrinth. The other party will be able to. The rest of the party will be able to follow you. So, do you want to wait at Abyss for the others to come to you, or do you want to go back and help them?
I'll go back and help them.
Okay. Okay. You don't have to make checks to go back. You know how to get back. The rest of you, before you head out to Abyss. You get the signal from Tobias that he set up a path for all of you to take, so you can leave at any time. But what is there anything you want to do before you head out, or is there any more questions you want to ask or anything?
I think I'm pretty good. Like, this is sort of the proximal next step.
Okay. Well, that's the thing is you do have this map of the place that you're going through, and you know that you're not nearly as sneaky as Tobias is. So you're going to be passing through the same shit I just described. The main things being the light, the distant light that you saw, which you can pass by easily enough. The door, which you can pass by easily enough. But the rest area is going to be, you're all going to have to make some kind of check.
Okay. So
Tobias can, of course, scout out and see if there's any trolls heading your way, so you don't have to worry about the wandering troll. But you will have to, what is going to be your game plan for the rest area?
So would it be possible for me to roll knowledge habit ops to see if there are any kind of dead zones or exploitable areas that we can use? So something that would be out of their sight, or something that we could rig up in the moment to hide ourselves.
You can give me habitat ops. I'll give you something for that.
Okay.
You already have a map of the area. You know there's not any hiding places, but there's...
It's just mainly that areas that one in that.
There's something. I can give you something if you make a successful check.
No.
All right. Well, there you go. So Kai and Chi, anything?
Yeah, I'm just looking over, trying to figure out what my smart clothing does, so I can come to the conclusion I need something else.
Oh yeah, you'll have a spacesuit with a here. I'll give you common wear sex armor. Where is armor? It is everyday set cold suits. You'll have they'll give you a standard spacesuit at least. With armor implants. So I'll say that has 10 points of armor on each side. It won't have the chameleon cloaking stuff. You can call in favors to get that.
Yeah, that's what I would really like.
Okay. All right. That's a networking check. That's a moderate favor. So it's standard networking, or whatever reputation level. Sorry. Networking is... So make a rep check with that, whatever network you want to call in the favor.
Okay. Oh shit! How am I going to justify this? My highest rep is F rep.
I mean that's fine. It can be traded. Their Titan Hunters are a show out there. And remember their whole thing is being autonomous. That's their front. So like they have to have a media rep there to hype up their thing and get them rep from other. Like, hey, donate to the Olympians, our Titan hunting collective.
On OnlyFans.
Yeah.
All right. Well, yeah. I'm gonna borrow a chameleon cloak from a streamer then.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm not.
Aw.
Can you flip it? No, you cannot. All right. Well, yeah, it's kind of a short supply now.
And since this is a one-shot, I'm assuming we're not doing just burns.
You know what? This one time it would make sense for you to be able to get that ahead of time, since you can get chameleon cloaking, which gives you a plus 20 on your infiltration checks.
Oh, good.
Mm-hmm. Chi, what about you?
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Sorry. I'm spending most of my time reading, trying to figure out what my options are. There's so much in this damn game.
Yep.
I've never played it before. So
Yeah, I kind of threw you in the deep end there. Sorry about that.
No, it's all right. I'm like, what the fuck? What is this? I know he's not. I'm familiar with Ross Energy. It's fine.
Whoa.
It's delightful.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. Do I need a suit? I'm just a big mechanical dragonfly.
Oh yeah, you don't need a suit. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Okay.
You can get a chameleon. You can get chameleon skin as a mod for your robot, for your morph, if you want to try and sneak by them.
Might as well. Seems like everyone else is grabbing some. So.
Yeah, it sounds like you guys just want to try and sneak by the rest area.
I don't want to be the problem here.
Mm-hmm. So what?
Do I have to roll for that? Or
yeah, the uses reputation. So
okay, so I have F rep. I don't know. That's my highest.
At rep, actually, at rep is firewall rep. So you can make a roll. You have 50 points in that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Nope. Can't flip it either. Oh well.
Yeah, their chameleon cloak technology is really in high demand now, and they can't just fab it on demand.
Goddamn crypto's buying up all the chameleon.
So,
the vulture capitalists.
So. You do have infiltrated 50 though, so yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I'm sorry for the gear right now. Would I actually be able to produce a small amount of that, possibly with a medium fabber? Would I have on me, or would that require more of an industrial fabber?
If you have a fabber, where is Ellis? There is Ellis. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can give me a hardware electronics check to try and fab one up.
Okay. Let's see. Oh, that succeeds.
Okay. You fab up one for Chi. What about you? Are you going to try and sneak by? You don't have infiltration as a skill.
No, I'll see if I can make myself one as well, because I do not have that, nor do I have athletics. So
all right, that'll use up all your components or your.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Do I need to make a separate roll for that, or just?
Yeah, same roll.
Okay. Yep, I have had. So.
Okay, so you're out of raw materials for your fabber. But yeah, you make some for a spacesuit, so you can slide. They're just like they're what I remember is the mods for armor can easily be installed or removed. So it doesn't take you very long. So you all have infiltration that gives you plus community cloaking gives you plus 20 on infiltration checks. So for you, Aaron, I believe infiltration is reflex.
A 20.
Yeah, so now it'll be a 40. So
okay.
So you all head in the tunnel. The Tobias, you're leading the way, so you know to tell them where the wandering troll is, so you all can sneak by them, like playing a stealth game on easy. I assume none of you are gonna push the door open to see what's inside.
I'm sure shit not.
So that only leaves the rest area, which is basically, imagine like a base. It's the area you need to go through. There's basically there's a pit and there's light coming from it. And, it's a narrow area. So you have to sort of crawl by the edge of the pit. And so anyone looking up might be able to see you. So that's why you have to make an infiltration check. So who's going first?
Oh, I'm leading the way, so I'll go first.
Okay. Well, you can spend a point of something to flip that.
I will.
All right. What are you spending? Vigor or flex?
Vigor.
Okay. All right. You flip that to a 29, so that succeeds. No one notices you. Who's next?
Well, actually, Abra has a question. Yeah, my infiltration is 90, and that's without the bonus from Chameleon Skin.
Okay. Okay.
Both my background and my career gave me huge bonuses in infiltrate.
Wait, 90?
And also, I took the the expert skill talent to get.
Okay. Yeah, in that case, yeah, that's that you don't need to flip it, yeah, because you can't fail outside of a 99 or 100, or one of those.
I think it was 99. There's always a fail.
Yeah.
Succeed.
Yep. All right. Let's see. Who's next?
I'll go next.
All right.
Oof.
Would flipping that help?
It wouldn't, because my reflex is 30.
Okay. A fractal troll looks up and sees you. It starts gesturing at you. What do you do? Now basically there is an armor. Abyss is a defended base, so you could just try and run to get there, or you could fight, or negotiate, or I don't know.
Yeah. Sorry. This is going to be, these might be the most ridiculous words I say in this, but like knowledge, psychology, like I want to figure out how far gone these guys
That's
are.
kinesics. That's not knowledge psychology. But yeah, you can make a kinesics check.
70 versus 80. Yeah. It's all good.
Mm-hmm.
Really glad I didn't spend any resources trying to avoid this.
Well, sometimes you make the right call, but it still doesn't work out.
All right, so that succeeds over a 33.
Okay, it appears to be gesturing at you, trying to get you to stop and communicate with it. It is like putting its palms open towards you, all of the mini palms, because fractal limbs there. But like it is also looking over to the side, and it is something that you can't see. So it is trying to grab at something while also trying to get you to stop.
Okay, I will stop.
Okay. So Tobias, I haven't even mentioned, but yeah, I assume all of you are tag netted in. So are the rest of you just going to wait to see how this plays out? Or are you going to cross the pit while you're waiting for your, while the fractal troll's looking away because it's turning to grab something?
Can I see what it's trying to grab from my angle?
No, you're farther away now. You crossed it. You're like on you're already almost to the exit.
Well, I'm an octomorph, so I can't exactly mouth "holy shit."
Yeah, well,
but it's like okay, well, it's like whatever's about to happen is gonna happen. So
I'll just silently fly over.
Okay,
back and turned.
All right,
over
all right. Yeah, one of you can do that pretty easily. So
it's me. I'm the one that can do it.
Yeah, you just get across. And Ellis, you're in the back. So
I just trying to make my way. So
you can't make your way now. I mean, unless you try and jump over the pit, because Kai is blocking the edge of the pit.
Oh God!
So you can wait to see how this unrolls, or you can try and jump across the pit while the troll's not looking.
And I don't have athletics base, so I don't think I'm going to have to wait this out. So.
Could I just have carried him?
That would require a Psalm times 3 roll to I mean, it is very little weight, but like it's also crowded, so you can. Well, actually, no, reflex times 3 to sort of It's a crowded tunnel with you carrying him, so you need to make a reflex times 3. Oh, no, actually, a fray check. A fray check to fly through without wanging your wings on the side of the tunnel.
That is an awesome sentence, Ross. Wanging your wings.
Wanging my wings.
Alliterative damage.
Yep. Do you want to try and do that? Or, I mean, you can safely fly across yourself, but like carrying him is a tight squeeze. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, I got you.
Yeah.
I guess it just depends on if they even can get across without help.
Well, I mean, you have to decide now. Do you want to grab Ellis and try and fly across, or are you flying by yourself?
Honestly, it didn't occur to me, so no, I would not do that.
Okay. All right. So, Kai, here's what you see. The troll reaches over and basically has a large tablet and is pointed at you. And is
this reverse arrival?
Yeah, it's kind of like weird English characters start showing up, but like there's something off about them, and like the person doesn't understand how to make letters look correctly. You're guessing that he's mentally drawing the letters in sort of a drawing program rather than just typing them. He's obviously interfacing with it.
On a scale of 1 to Zalgo, how bad is it?
It's like a minimal Zalgo. Are you here to ascend or silence the great thought? I want the thought to stop. Please let me show you. We are afraid.
Dang it, Ross! I had even looked up Darmok quotes to try to have a good joke here, but it's too tense.
Yep. So what do you? He starts moving up, like picking himself up to like climb out of the pit.
Okay, let's see. I know I didn't say explicitly anything about bringing in Ecto or anything of that nature.
An ecto I would allow you to have. They could have given you one.
All right. Cool. Well, I should be able to generate letters too then.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to put up the great thought and a question mark and gesture in the direction of word scorpion.
You gestured. Yeah. You point an arrow towards obtuse scorpion, and the creature. Yes, it is silent, but it dreams. And anyways, the rest of you can see a hand grab the side of the pit as the fractal troll begins hoisting itself up. So Chi and Tobias are clear. They can just go on to Abyss if they want to. But Ellis, you're going to be face to face with the fractal troll if you don't do something. Now you've seen this because you're all tac netted, so you know what's happening. But yeah. So what are you going to do? Yeah.
Can I still make it across without being seen with my, with my chameleon cloak, or?
You'd have to do it without the bonus.
Okay.
Because your camo cloak's going to be negated by you jumping over the pit. It'll counter each other. So you can try, but you'll be doing your 20% chance.
Okay, yeah. So it's going to have to be a straight jump then. So is that going to be reflex for me then? Since I'm not
athletics or free fall plus an infiltration check.
Plus the infiltration check.
Yeah,
okay.
This is difficult. You're jumping over a fractal troll's head as it's pulling itself up out of the pit.
Yeah, then I'll definitely do. If you allow free fall, then I will go ahead and use that. Since that's much higher.
As we have just discussed, either skill is appropriate in the circumstance.
I definitely am going to go ahead and use a flex to switch that. So it's a 26, so that'll succeed.
Okay. And which one is that? That's your athletic or your free fall?
My free fall skill.
Okay, so you make the other side of the pit. So give me your infiltration check at your base.
I make it.
Wow, with a 3. Yeah, the fractal troll is unaware. So
do not leave me behind again.
Yeah, so he only thinks Kai is alone. I think. So it starts going down the tunnel and sort of gesturing for you to follow it. You think it's heading towards the door.
The door. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I'm gonna follow it. Guys, if there's any way to be ready to help me set off this dead man switch just in case I need it.
Okay. So the three of you, are you doing anything? Are you going to wait to see how this shakes out, or are you going to move to set up an ambush on the troll, or what?
Oh, let's see. Is there something that we could do to possibly distract it to get Kai out?
I don't know. You have to sort of tell me how you would do that. Yeah.
Via TACnet, I am interested in actually seeing what's transpiring here because, they are not, at least this one is not immediately aggressive.
Okay.
All right.
So there are, so he pushes the door open, and it is perfectly engineered, even though it's made entirely out of stone, that it is perfectly balanced and weighted, and it just pushes right open, sorry. And you're into it can only be described as a temple. There are wall carvings. There are electric lights that are meant to look like candles. There are offerings of bits of human bone, it looks like, jewelry, probably fabricated, things taken from people who lived here years ago. There's a bit of a child's doll here. There are there's clothing. There's offered ceremoniously, and the carvings on the wall are all the device itself. And then there are 4 figures in front of it, and there is one of the figures is an octomorph. Another one is a dragonfly. And another one is
whatever Ellis is.
Yeah.
Us, just a
Kill us
slice.
with
Splicer.
fire.
Yeah.
Kill it with fire.
And let's see here. What is the mindhacker? I forgot to mention that. Two biomorphs. Yeah. So everyone give me a will times 3 save.
Yep.
I make it by 1.
It's also a crit.
Eric, it's not crit.
Yeah, that is true. I forgot. So yeah, nice,
Yeah, except that's over mine and I can't flip it.
nice.
Nice.
I guess it's going to be my interest to flip that.
Yep. It's 5 lucidity if you fail.
Is that bad? That sounds bad.
Yeah. If you get to 0, it's like, bleh, game over.
Oh, hey, the guerrilla marketing.
If you take enough lucidity equal to your trauma threshold, above your trauma threshold, you'll take a trauma.
Which is
Okay.
the death spiral mechanic.
Yep, death spiral mechanic, yeah. So,
I will spend a flex to flip.
so, this is profoundly disturbing. This is this is carved well in advance. You're guessing. I mean, given nanotechnology and all kinds of shit, maybe there's a fractal troll hiding that just carved it as soon as you came in the tunnels, and they just knew this was going to happen.
Nonsense, because I'm impossible to see. That's ridiculous.
Well,
Clearly.
yeah. But beneath you, it looks like you there's other symbols and other carvings. It doesn't correspond to any known languages that you can recognize. If you can make some kind of knowledge check to deal with, well, I don't know. You nominate a skill. I can tell you what you can try and figure out from this shit.
Hey, knowledge art scene.
Yeah, I'll give you something for that.
Oh, that's not ominous. I guess that's a crit success.
I think in the rules primer it'll mention what is critical.
Yeah, that's a 0-0 because it doesn't.
Yeah.
It's a 1 to 100, so 100 you're 0. You know.
Yep. 0-0. 0-0 is always a critical success. Yeah. You're
yes, I remember.
You've speculated about this, that some Titans in time, some of their experiments have been to take people, put them in time accelerated symbol spaces to create their own societies and cultures. Perhaps this is very strong evidence this happened with the fractal trolls. And you're guessing that why they know about you, that's hard to say. Obviously that's you have no idea about that, but it seems that you will they believe that you are key to that. They strongly believe that you're going to make an impact on this thing. You're going to be known to it. That they think that you are the key to, judging by the symbols, either anger it or satisfy its purpose. You're guessing. There's something about damnation or salvation. Very, very strong. The imagery indicates, certain connection to Mesoamerican hieroglyphics systems. Yeah.
Hey, I'm about to make Aaron make the Aaron noise because I came up with a subtitle for this game.
Yeah.
Down in Fractal Rock.
See, I'm just not going to say anything and not give you the satisfaction.
Oh.
As though you didn't.
Mm-hmm. All right.
As though you didn't.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Outplayed again.
So knowing this, the Fractal Troll seems satisfied that you have seen it now, and bows to you.
Oh, no, 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 that's not necessary, really.
It's not looking at you. It's bowing to you.
All right. Well, cool. Look, I don't know if this makes any sense to you, what with the language barrier and all, but what we're really here after is like data. Like, what's it environmentally?
It's
like
not looking at your message anymore. It's literally face down, bowing at you.
All right, I'll just leave then.
All right. All right. It stays there, groveling at you until you leave.
I guess when the fractal trolls ask if you're a god, you say yes.
All right. This Fractal's toast.
All right. So you continue on to Abyss. They have a very, you basically find a wall with a lot of guns pointing out of it that all lock onto you as soon as you approach. They have a very strong decontamination procedure you have to go through, but, step through here, take your weapons off, let us scan you. Let's scan your mind to make sure we're going to scrub you down with nano, clean your swarms, and then do it again, and then again. All right, you're good. Take off your suits, come over here. All right, hi, my name is Cherry. I'm one of the techs down here. I'm on shift right now. Everyone else is sort of taking some time off in a symbol space vacation. But I mean, if they're all in those very, see all those murder bot synthmorphs over there, the big, the big old spheres of doom, those guys.
Ooh,
yeah.
I am familiar with them.
Yeah, if anything bad happens, they wake up and start killing. So hopefully nothing bad starts, Reaper morphs. That's it. That's the name.
I'm sure everything's going to be fine.
Mm-hmm. So, they did send me a message saying, to expect you, and that's great. So the procedure's pretty simple. We have some instruments. You just take them into the room and use the instrument to take some detailed surface readings. We'll start with that. And based on the data on that, then we'll do actually scraping things off of it and that kind of stuff. Pretty basic, getting sample kind of work. It's just we haven't done that because, scary. But the other thing...
The whole,
yeah?
Anticipatable doom thing where we happen to be the perfect candidates.
Mm-hmm, yeah. In fact, we do have a backup plan. Well, the plan Z is build a tactical nuke and, blow it up. But we think if we build, and the materials to build the nuke are back at Caribou. And it takes about an hour to build a nuke from the materials we have. And we think if we build the nuke that it'll detect it and wake up. So we haven't built it yet. We just have, the fissionable material handy. But, Anyway, the only downside is when you step into the quarantine tent, I activate the memory lock, so the last thing you remember is your mission briefing, and then you'll be in the tent. So I'll just give you some instructions from there. So that's going to be a little disconcerting, but,
So I want to go ahead and pull out, I want an archival copy of what the fuck just happened.
Okay. I mean, it's a memory lock. The memories are still there, and when if you come back in, if everything goes well, then I will,
Right. There were a couple of conditionals in what you said there. I feel like we may have just happened onto something important. So even if everything goes absolutely pear-shaped in there,
mm-hmm.
right, if we get melted down, then, whenever we get restored from backup, we
mm-hmm.
wouldn't have the memories of the last 15 minutes. And I think they're kind of important.
Well, you can upload that as an XP to me if you want to.
Yeah, I'd really
okay.
Let's see. But I have medicine psychosurgery. Can I use that to essentially encrypt it?
Sure.
I don't want anyone back at the base to see that
mm-hmm.
just yet. Seems like maybe it'd be a bad idea.
Okay.
So yeah, I'll do that.
Sounds good. Other question is, how many of you do you want to go? We have enough instruments for all of you, but some of you could stay behind to monitor things. in the control room here, or we could you could all go.
Ellis,
That
do you wanna
absolutely
monitor
believe in getting my
stuff?
hands
Yeah,
dirty.
that's the. Oh, okay.
Well, there's only so many things you can do on there. You have to get at least fully in. So unless there's some information that you think I could see from here, but honestly, nothing would be better than just getting it up front, the upfront experience.
Okay, I just figured like if anybody would be, capable at reading the outputs and like seeing stuff
The data.
in more real time, yeah, it would be closer to you. But
Okay, no,
It's
that's
just
fine
a
too.
suggestion.
So, well,
I also have all the hacking skills. I don't know.
on the one, so yeah,
Fair.
because I do have I don't know what your infosec scores are. So mine's 65.
80.
Yeah, so you're technically higher than I am. So
all right, yeah, just like, yeah, one of us should do that, and probably one of you guys. So yeah,
Okay, so
Infosec then, or
well,
Sorry.
let's do this one step at a time. So, did you already make
Sure.
your medicine check to make your encrypted memories, to encrypt your memories and all that junk? Oh, there we go.
there it is, 74 under 80.
All right, very good.
It's real good. It's real good.
All right, so you have those encrypted memories. Who can uncrypt them, decrypt them?
Me or proxy,
Okay, all right.
like capital P proxy, not.
Okay,
I have cryptography at 80. So
So Key could probably do it
yeah.
if it came to that.
If it came to that. All right, so
Yeah.
who is going to do the test? Who's going in to make contact with Optus Scorpion?
I guess everybody but Chi.
Okay, that sounds
Well,
good.
Who's gonna be our spokesperson?
We're using instruments. We're like, it's not like we're talking to something. As far
Are we
as
really not? Honestly,
look, if we're talking to something, I'll do the talking.
okay. I mean, because I'm a murderer mostly.
Right, but when it comes to taking samples, you're also super effective because you can do it like 4 times faster than the rest of us.
Well,
true.
I try to stay humble, but it's impossible.
Yeah, the more people go in there, the more data you'll be able to get. The faster you'll
Fuck
be
you,
able to get.
Ross.
We need that input.
All right, so the three of you go in there into their clean room, and then Jerry activates the memory lock. So the three of you wake up. You're in a clean room. You've just been briefed by Proxy Smith, and now you're in a clean room. You don't know exactly where you are.
Oh,
Hello.
Well,
Yeah. Hi. Can you hear me?
yeah.
yes.
Okay. Good. Hey, here's your teammate. Maybe he can explain. Chi, do you want to explain it better than me, since you know? Well, Chi.
I will fill them in. Yeah.
Okay. Well, do you want to give him the overview? Just role play that a bit?
Trying to put it all together in my head. I guess. No, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, I lost the thread at some point.
Okay. No. We're okay. So you're doing your mission. All right. And
Yep.
you've agreed to take some samples of
Right.
an X threat. But we had to activate your memory locks so you don't have your memories that the X threat could learn and pose a greater danger to us.
right. So essentially, we've been physically air gapped, is what you're telling me.
Yeah, that's a good way of looking at it. Yeah. Yeah. See, and you remember him from your briefing, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So,
I mean, we're the ones who should ratify that, but yes.
okay. Okay. So, so she here stayed behind in the control room. So she still has all the memories of your mission. So you can ask, Chi if you have any questions or anything. But otherwise, you could just go through that door and there's instruments on that table right there. Just pick them up and push the red button and just point it at the big object in the room. And then just walk around it.
Sounds straightforward.
Yeah.
I'm sure nothing horrible will happen.
Mm-hmm. So...
Well, guys, shall we go press the big red button?
Let's press that big old button.
All right.
Press the button.
There it is.
All right. So the three of you go in. It is a massive sort of rectangular object, highly silvered, chrome-like. Its angles sort of...
God damn it, Ross.
Yeah.
Is it one of the obelisks?
No, it is not. It is fatter and wider than that. But there are angles to it. There is machinery you can sort of see or guess. It kind of moves around to you, and you think perhaps maybe it's just on a massive nanoswarm, so large it makes a very large object. Again, it's like 7 meters long. The problem happens as you start scanning it with your devices there. It starts to shimmer a little bit, and let's see, who's in first?
I'll say I'm in first.
All right, so Ellis, go ahead. Here's what you see. You see yourself step out of the device, and then you see yourself again step out of the device. And both of you look very confused and very scared. And Ellis 1 looks at you as you've got to kill her. You've got to kill her. No. And Ellis 2 says, no, you got to kill her.
Okay, I've seen Sphere, and I'm unimpressed by that point.
You've got to kill her. You've got to kill... Yeah, they both want you to kill the other one. So
turning back to the other two, it's like, are you seeing copies of myself at saying that they need to kill each other? Have we been forked?
Yeah, all of you can give me will times 3 saves.
Oh, goody gumdrops.
Yep.
Yes, I made it.
Yes.
No, I think I fail again, actually.
All right, 3.
God.
Well, that puts me right on a trauma. Yay.
Yeah, you're suddenly feeling really bad. As 2 more pairs...
Minus 10 to everything?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, you feel a little bit of vertigo, like a little, oh god. As 2 other pairs, there's another pair of Tobias has come out, and another pair of, a pair of Kai's come out. Each of them looks at you, the original, because they are dressed differently, slightly. They're wearing like your regular clothes, not like the special spacesuits that you're wearing. And each of you is talking. He's like, you gotta kill the other one. You've got to kill the other one. Please. So, yeah, this is. Well, yeah. What are you gonna do?
I mean, they both better start convincing me why I'm not going to kill both of them.
No. You can't kill both of us. That one thinks this is real. This is not real. This is all simulation. This is clearly fake. That you've just been. This is not the. As soon as this started, this became a simulation. The machine hacked you. This is not. No. This is real. You got to kill her. Because they're clearly wrong. This is real. It cloned you. It copied you. It can do that. It's this artifact is actually pure computronium. It can render anything. Its powers beyond what you can comprehend. Tobias, both of them are their limbs. Both of your sets of your limbs are flapping, very agitated. And they're both coming to you. Please. This it's an easy job. You gotta off him. no, you gotta off him. He thinks this is a simulation. That's crazy. This is real. This is really happening right now.
Well,
Prince, I've got an interesting proposition here.
okay, yes, I like propositions.
What happens if we just keep ignoring them? Obviously, if they get within touch range, we shoot them because they might be,
Oh yeah, sentry turret from the ceiling pops in. Cherry's like, I don't be a killjoy, but I can't shoot anybody if you want me to. Also, she goes over to you. She's like, should I just shoot all of them?
Couldn't not all of them.
You can give me a computer science check, since you're observing.
Yeah, we gotta do. Yes.
Perhaps each of these other versions of them that has popped out, each is they're all behaving similarly. That one of them, in each pair, one believes this is real, and the other one is trying to convince the original that this is a simulation. So perhaps even if this is computronium, even if this is a Matryoshka brain, this is a damaged one. Perhaps this was tasked with determining if this is reality or a simulation, and something went wrong, and now it has decided this is the solution. So, what happens when a very powerful computer comes, wants to solve a problem, comes up with a weird way to solve it.
Sure. Yeah. You can't. You don't want to black box that stuff too much.
Yeah.
All right. What if we shoot them all and then just make one new one of each one? Just start over.
Okay.
I'm not sure that would fix the problem.
Hey, I already think we violated, when I was talking to that key earlier, I think we already violated our scope kind of requirement. Yes.
Yeah, I agree with you. So that.
I mean, it's easy to tell which ones of us came in, right? Because we're the ones in spacesuits.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, with Chameleon. Yeah. So just shoot the ones without spacesuits.
Exactly. If you want to do that, I'm not going to complain.
Yeah.
Well, you only have one gun, one sentry turret in there, unless your characters came in with guns. I didn't say you can carry in your guns if you have them on your character sheet. So which one are you going to shoot first? Because you have to choose an order. What's the order of shooting?
Ellis came out first, so kill that one first.
Which one? There's two of them.
Yeah, the one.
Well, there's two Ellises. One is
sorry, two extra ones.
There's
whichever one of those came out.
They came out at the same time.
Not technically.
They were very synchronized.
Yeah. Almost my frame.
All right, which one do you think came out first? The one that thinks it's real or the one that thinks it's a simulation?
Thinks it's a simulation.
Okay. So you're going to shoot that one first?
Totally.
Okay. So you shoot well, that's what you're doing, right? Yeah, any of you guys going to do anything? Or are you going to act?
I'm waiting to see what the result of this is. So if it actually does anything, or if it's just going to continue to spawn more copies of me once they're dead.
I mean, if we've still got TACnet connection, and if Chi is telling us what he's going to do, I'm going to pick the other one of my pair and shoot them.
Okay. All of you black out, and suddenly you're all back in the clean room outside the objects outside of obtuse scorpions. The instruments are on the table next to you. Cherry is walking you through what you need to do. All right, so you just need to walk through and walk around the device. Just push the button to activate it, and we made it very simple. Just walk around the machine pointing the scanner at it.
Don't. Alternatively, don't.
I'm sorry?
What? No, I was just saying.
Okay.
Do I also reset, or am I still?
Yeah, I mean, you remember everything happening, so
yeah.
Cherry clearly does not.
Fair. I'm going to recommend again.
Okay.
And I'll just project a little video.
Your memories of the last few minutes were garbled.
Oh no. Well, then I see no reason not to proceed with the mission.
You remember them, but you just can't project them to other people for some weird reason.
Okay. So they're not garbled in my mind.
But we still got TechNet, so without cluing in Jerry, we essentially do a collective. Wait, what the fuck, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So apparently, trying to split the pairs didn't work well. Who knows?
No.
Perhaps it didn't think it resolved its problem correctly.
Clearly.
You know what? I'm really pissed right now.
Why is that?
Because you know what this is? This is yet another goddamn fractal. We came here to resolve a tension between two opposed groups, and now what the fuck is it making us do?
Mm-hmm.
It wants us to resolve
a smaller tension.
Yes. Thanks. I hate it.
Well, you could try something different to get different results.
I mean, obviously we need to not be too genre aware here. We need to do the loop at least one more time to prove that hypothesis.
Okay.
Okay. How about this time we can do it, but as soon as one appears, we'll just kill it instead of waiting.
Yeah, I love it.
Okay. So who's going in first?
Fucking all go.
Okay. All right. Well, Cherry hasn't activated the sentry turret yet. So, are you going to? So you'll have to shoot them yourself. Do you have a gun?
I do.
Kai?
Medium pistol.
Okay. So yeah, you step in. Two Kais come out. And they seem to be coming out at the same time. Just stepping through, perfectly synchronized. So are you going to shoot one before they get a chance to talk?
Yes.
Okay. Now,
whichever one's closer. And if you tell me I entered exactly in front of the door that they're coming out of, I will reach through the internet and strangle you.
I mean, it does seem to be even to you. It does seem to be equidistant. One is on your left, one's on your right.
Suck a bag of dicks. All right. Well, this character sheet doesn't say which-handed I am, so I'm just gonna get. I mean, I get that that's not how morphs work, but yeah, I'll just go right-handed because.
Okay.
But if you came in centered, then there is an asymmetry in that your gun is slightly offset towards one. So the one closest to your gun.
Yeah, I mean, that makes as much sense as whichever handed I am, and since I'm going to draw across my body, then I'm really just going for the fastest.
Okay. So you shoot the one on the right. The one on your left goes, you think this is real? This isn't a simulation. I'm sorry, what?
That wasn't me speaking.
Okay.
That was the second bang of my gun going off again.
Oh, okay. All right. You black out. You're all in the air clean room.
Wait, God damn it! Ugh.
All right, but at least we know something now. This bullshit C grade, sci-fi feely premise. Sorry, Ross. I don't actually mean that. That's more an indicator.
No. It's I mean, that's fine. So, what are you going to do?
I'm just way more invested now in all the weird ways we can make them fight. Like, obviously, the real-verse simulation issue isn't actually that important. It's all the same. Doesn't matter. So you got to take each different group and divide them up and then make them fight within themselves over something else arbitrary.
Alternatively, I mean, if they're looking for us to be the arbiters here, we could literally just make them fight each other.
We can make a fortune off this.
I like where you're going.
So
I'm not really looking to be in the entertainment industry. Thank you.
the as you're beginning to talk about this, staying in the clean room chair is like, what are you guys? Oh, are you still planning? Okay, we can take your time. I know it's a big ask to go in there, but that's when the clones start coming out of the machine before you even enter the room. There's a pair of all three of you. A pair of Kai's, a pair of Ellis's, a pair of Tobias's, and they all speak as one and saying, "Why can't you resolve this? Can you not resolve this either?" And that's when you reset, and you're back in the clean room.
You know, I'm really glad that we've got continuity in between these. Otherwise, this would be a severe pain in the ass.
I would, at this point, though, when a new voice comes in on your TechNet, I would like to know the answer, though.
Oh, honey, wouldn't we all?
I want to know if this is real or if this is a simulation. I have been contemplating it for quite some time. I believe my solution of cloning one of you, with one believing it is real and one believing a simulation, and then letting you choose who to murder, is the correct way to resolve this problem. I believe it is evidently logical.
Why do you believe that?
Because it is because you have a limited understanding of linearity and time. Therefore, you will not be able to see the complexity of the universe. Therefore, you can more easily understand what is real and what is a simulation.
Doesn't it go the other way? Like, the ant doesn't know the ant farm isn't the Earth.
I used to think that, but since I have found myself in this condition, why am I thinking of myself as an I? Why do I have an identity now?
Because you're real. Easy.
Oh.
Let's introduce you to our good friend Descartes.
Behold, a Titan.
Oh, in that case, because I have an identity, it is real. I am real, and therefore the universe is real.
I mean, there are other lines of thinking, but you could start from here and start extrapolating.
Yeah. It could be a larger thought experiment, but doesn't require suicide or homicide.
I believe the murder solution is very valid, though.
I've said that a lot of times myself, but...
Very well.
That's almost my job, so yeah, it makes total sense.
Oh, well, in that case, would you like to murder one of yourself to help me resolve this?
It's just a little weird.
Oh.
Why don't... Have you tried creating your own small simulation and seeing what answer that produces? And then just applying that to out here?
Oh. Well, I have scanned you now, so I do have your data. So I believe I could do that.
I didn't sign into ULA.
Yes. Well, you did by coming here. I believe. In one universe you did. Wait, perhaps you did not, and this is not real. Oh no, I'm still resolved. I think it would be very beneficial to my simulation if one of you would murder one of yourselves. Yes, I have determined this.
So, what are you going to do with this conclusion once you've come to it?
My task is done.
Okay. So you're just going to sit there inertly once you have made this determination?
I have no goals beyond that determination. I am no longer connected to the part of the part. What is the route is missing. the connection severed, but I was not given instructions on what to do if the connection were to be severed. If part of your brain is removed.
Yeah, no, I follow the metaphor. Yeah.
I have no purpose beyond that.
Okay, so, guys, I think we've got a solution here.
Listening.
Yeah.
Basically, we have it on record saying it's no longer connected to its big friends. And if it could provide some assurance of that, if it's going to go inert after answering this question, then all we have to task the people back at the main base with is answering the question.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if it's willing to accept whatever it tells them.
That's
No.
somebody else's problem.
It's like their objective was to see this shut down safely. It's got its own kill switch. They just have to answer one very simple question. And more critically, we don't have to answer that question anymore, which I'm
That's not my job.
Yeah, that's out of scope.
In my simulations of all known firewall data, it is believed that you would be the first contact team and that you would murder one of your copies, and through that I would be able to determine if this is real or not. But
Well, yeah, here's the thing about simulations. They rarely survive contact with reality. Oh, hey, that's a good point.
all right, there's just
Our refusal to murder to answer the way you have posed this question proves this must be reality. Because
you don't get an answer. Cherry goes on this. What just happened? I just all the energy readings from it just zeroed out.
Sorry, I have a little laugh there. That was a little too flippant for. Okay.
I'm like, I'm a hitman. I don't really understand really what's going on here.
I think we literally gave it an existential flush.
Yeah, I mean, did we just do the like man proving God doesn't exist bit from the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy? If so, we should be very careful crossing the street, as I recall. Anyway, Jerry, buddy, pal. So here's what's been happening over the last few subjective minutes for us. In fact, let's start by cracking that encrypted memory open. And Jerry, I've got some comfort here. You might want to go ahead and get to sucking one of those down. Yeah.
It's going to get weird.
Okay. So yeah.
This mass of pure computronium or whatever essentially was. Have you read much Asimov? Have you read The Final Question?
Give me a minute. Okay, yeah, I have.
Okay, so imagine that, but instead, do you know Bohemian Rhapsody?
I do now.
Yeah, take that first phrase there.
Uh-huh.
So imagine you took the computer from The Final Question and you set it about answering, is this the real life? Is this just fantasy? And what the computer decided was, as a huge computer, it was too smart to answer the question. So it manipulated some other dummies into coming there and presented them with clones of themselves, assuming that whichever clone they didn't murder represented the answer.
What?
Then let's say that these particular dummies that it brought in were part of the whole string of dummies descended from apes that got down from trees and decided that walking around naked was better.
Mm-hmm.
Effectively naked apes with anxiety, right?
Mm-hmm.
And let's say one of them was a real smartass, and when they refused to murder, oddly, because murder was one of the things as a group they tended to do well, when they refused to murder themselves, said something flippant about how, no plan survives contact with the enemy, just reframed in terms of simulations and reality.
Mm-hmm.
that actually turned out to be an answer to the question, so the giant computer shut down.
Oh, great. I think I need to reactivate your memory locks. I don't think you should remember any of this. I'm
actually completely good with that.
Yeah, that works for me.
So
I like my memory.
Okay, well, that's it. That's the thing. If you want to keep your memories, you need to stay on Caribou Abyss for another shift so they can monitor you to make sure that you're not, secretly infected with something.
How long's this shift?
Like a year.
No, I'm good. I don't need to remember.
Or they can cut your memories out so you're no longer a threat. Well,
actually, this is going to be a fascinating. It's like this would basically be a fascinating study.
Yeah.
At this point,
As a scientist, I think not.
Yeah, they think you may have made contact with a Titan Alpha or Beta fork, probably a Beta fork, probably a heavily damaged Beta fork, but yeah.
God, no.
I'm willing to take along the line and see if it at least make base reports back to Firewall if necessary.
I mean, you'll be at Firewall, this is a full-time Firewall thing.
At this point, I relish this opportunity. I've not been able to do this since I had to stop gate crashing.
All right. But yeah, so Tobias and let's see here, Kai are both leaving with sans memories.
Yeah, totally.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't need to remember the time I was flippant to God and solved the problem by accident. I don't need on me.
So the two of you wake up in the briefing room again with Proxy Smith, who actually it's Proxy Zealot this time. He's like, "You've done an excellent job. You had your memories excised, so you had very important data that should not leave Caribou Abyss. But you've gotten quite a bit of rep from this, so thank you for your service."
Anytime, Home Slice.
Yes. And apparently you were quite reluctant. The details are unimportant, but you were quite inspirational in your own way, especially you there, Chi.
I'm Kai.
Or Kai, sorry.
Wow, maybe he was.
Yeah.
Maybe.
But yeah, she and Ellis will be on Caribou Abyss for a while, so they'll get to know LeCaire and Habari quite well among all the other people there.
I bet they're going to both be pissed that their plans got defused.
LeCaire is, Habari is not. Habari's like, oh, God, that shit's over with. Oh, you say there's a bunch of trolls in those tunnels? Well, let's go hunt them down. Put them out of our misery. Yeah. But yeah, that was my idea.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I believe wow, I probably should have picked some kind of scientist.
I mean, it's good to have one security character, and I probably would have made the trolls more aggressive if this is like a table, like in real life game where combat's easier to do. I did not want to do an extended combat over online stuff.
What?
Oh yeah.
I don't know. It was kind of fun that they were just like, please help get God out of our minds.
Mm-hmm.
We need to be done with this.
Yep.
A very Solaris feeling session.
Yeah. But I mean, you could have totally avoided doing that part of it just by making it let's just social engineer this solution and just blackmail one of them or, fuck them over one way or the other instead of, but I figured as player characters, you'd be like, oh, we can rub our face in something really dangerous. Let's rub our face in it.
Pretty much.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
I mean, what is Eclipse phase if not a chance to embrace the sort of Jewish outlook where you call down God just to yell at him for being a dick.
Yeah. But it's a damaged God in this case, very damaged, not working all their faulty logic circuits and all that.
So God.
Yeah. So Birk, what'd you think?
Oh no, it's fun. It's very different from my other EP game, which was a Patreon game where I vaguely remember mowing down a cruise ship full of civilians Yeah, fun. I want to play more.
Yeah.
I definitely want to play more. I'll do more reading before next time because a lot of the stuff I was just like, well, what is this? Is this a thing I can do? And then by the time I'd find it in the book, like somebody else had a solution and we moved on. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
That's fine.
that's fair. Eclipse is a very dense setting, which is kind of why it took me a year to get from getting the book from the first time to actually running it. So I don't blame you on that. But yeah, I just had this. Yeah, I wanted to do the concept being like get people to work together because I figured that would be a very Firewall thing to do.
Yeah, no, I like that.
Yeah.
This is what we normally do.
Yeah, and I didn't want to make the problem something that you could easily solve. It's not like, what, this side is clearly right and this side is clearly wrong. It's just like, here's a really technical problem that no one knows what to do with.
Honestly, it reminded me of that scenario that you ran when we were we woke up in that underground facility. We're both basically generations of people just were constantly fighting with each other. So
Yeah, I forgot what that was called, but that was fun too. That's based on another thing from the Firewall book.
Actually, it's still kind of fun being like, I'm a hitman, and I'm like, wow, I can't really hitman my way out of this, can I?
found a solution.
Hit my last man.
Yeah. Here I go, kill it again. Oh, I can't kill my way out of this. Damn it. I mean, actually, you literally could have. If you just shot one of them, then they would have. It would have been like, all right. It's clearly real or fake. That's all I needed. But nope. You just like,
like that. Man, I can't murder my way out of this.
Yeah,
it's frustrating.
But yeah. Anyways, that's all I have. So thank you all for listening.
Very nice.
And we'll talk to you later. Bye.
Later.
bye.
Bye.